The idea of organizational learning is a very, very complex subject in itself. It is something that we do know about, we do understand the need for. Most of us who've been involved in org design and org theory work for years do talk about the need for people to be influencing their organizations to become what we call learning organizations, that they're all constantly growing. The little example we have for you here today in the discussion board of a local store, unlike the national chain you dealt with last week, and a maybe not a spiral, but certainly a significant sales decline, is very interesting, because what we're essentially showing you is a situation that has maybe been caused by national trends, something, national events, national, cultural, things beyond the control of the management. But we also have a management response to that, or lack of management response to it. And now, in many cases, many people are responding with asking an employee group, because we've all been excited by the IDEO model and things like that, to come ahead and solve what was, again, a external force problem, exacerbated by management inactivity, and now we're asking the employee group to solve it. Is this really the easiest thing to do? This is one of the things, I think, where we make sure now that we think expansively about the answer. And I like a lot of what I'm seeing here, but what I want people to understand is in organizational design and in organizational theories and in individual management behavior and organizational behavior, there's some things that we know. And the big thing about it is change management. Now, we explored that last week in several ways. But one of the things about it is people are basically resistant to change. And the key word is resistant. They're not opposed to it. Therefore, we have to involve them in a very, very engaging and way that where they answer this simple question: what's in it for me? Now, a lot of people have come in and started to suggest incentives. I'm not saying that's the only way to do it, but things that you really think you want to keep in mind as you approach this question. And maybe some of you have done it already, some of you are debating back and forth with each other. Think about things like, one, we do know from behavioral models that the largest percentage of the population out there does have this basic resistance to change. We just don't like it. Why? Because we're creatures of habit. We are used to doing things a certain way. The other thing, when we start talking about, say, well, let's involve the employees more, get them asking the customers questions and everything. There's a real science to that. This is not just simply asking people to go ask some questions. That's a form of confrontation, believe it or not. That's something people don't like to do. That's a difficult matter right in itself. The other thing you want to think about is when you're starting to say, well, we need to update our product line and we need to update the lines of the clothing we carry and everything. Now you're talking about a disruption to your supply chain. Are you ready to do that in a structural way? How does this affect your organization? So what I'm asking you to do is to continue the discussions you're having, but continue them in this idea of, are we asking people to do things that they are either prepared to do, understand the need to do, and feel a personal benefit from doing? And the other things are to look at it from the whole picture of the business as a whole. Is it something that maybe on the surface looks pretty simple, and suddenly we decide, oh, let's do this, and then realize there's 44 other steps. All right, thank you for indulging me this little 5 minutes here, but I think it's the easiest way for me to handle things today, and I appreciate all your support this week. Thank you very much.